Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Coins, RPGs, and More. In this episode, we're going to continue the story of Addy and Rafi as they finally get inside the sewers underneath the city of Hassenberg. With a loud creak, they clamber past the gate and slush their way down this gross-smelling sewer tunnel. Rafi pulls out one of his torches and lights it before passing it to Addy and drawing forth his bow and a single arrow. All right. You lead the way. I'll support you. And we'll help you get those giant rat tails. I lead the way? I thought you were going to lead the way. You and your... I already have 3 rat tails. No! I'm helping you. You go first. Okay. Torch in one hand, throwing dagger in the next. Addy makes her way down the passageway. Do they get disturbed before they get to where we left off? No, they don't. So they trudge their way through slush, squish, squish. We should probably make some constitution checks to see if they lose their lunch. Addy! With an 8 against her constitution of 11, she's good. For Rafi, that's a 9. His constitution is 6. Rafi. I thought you were in these sewers before.
Never stops smelling like poop. Yeah.
So much for seasoned adventure, I suppose. And Addy continues leading the way, while Rafi keeps coughing and spitting and trying to clear his throat a little bit. After passing where Addy initially encountered the dog, and hasn't seen the dog since, they make their way to where the passage turns. And finally, they return to where Addy had seen those carvings on the wall. And she looks at them once more. If Brutus was here, where is Melina? That wouldn't happen to mean anything to you, would it, Rafi?
No, it doesn't.
Very well. I suppose on to the next chamber then. So, the next room is the straight ahead passage. And they continue on their way. Next room. Also straight ahead passage. So, I just rolled something really fun. That's why I was a little quiet, because I was figuring out what it is. It's a straight ahead passage, but the room after that, after that, when they move into the next segment of pipe, looking around, they're scanning, and suddenly they hear a lot of and there is a nest up ahead, a clutter of random of boards, other detritus, things that have been pushed and prodded and moved around to create a sort of jumbled nest that kind of takes over most of this section of the pipe. Would make it very difficult to pass it by without actually going through it because it's so big. And the nose of a giant rat pokes out of this nest. So, they see it. The giant rat sees them. We roll for initiative. So, first, our heroes. I rolled a 2. The giant rat. Rolled a 5. The giant rat charges forward before Addy can throw her knife and leaps for Addy. Just moving forward. It smells dinner. Or in this case, breakfast. And it leaps for Addy. But with a 4, it does not succeed. It leaps, and then it leaps for her. She steps aside, and the rat falls back into the squishy mud, sludge water at the bottom, splashing it everywhere. Oh, it sprays all over them. But that's its turn, and so now Addy is within 5 feet of this thing, so she cannot throw her knife. Instead, she flips her grip on it and tries to stab downwards at the beast. That roll got ruined. It was cocked. Okay, an 11. Unfortunately, it's not a... She doesn't get a bonus to this one because it's just a stab, not a throw. An 11 doesn't hit. So she slashes the knife down, and it cuts into the fur of the giant rat, cutting off a whole section of fur, but does not pierce the flesh. Meanwhile, Rafi has... Look out! Fires his arrow. He also doesn't get a bonus to his attack. But he rolled a 13. That's a hit. 2. Okay, how much health does this giant rat have? 4. That's half of the giant rat's health right there. In fact, actually, let's see. Okay, so it's actually 3 health. So the giant rat has lost over half its health in the first shot. Arrow sinks into its side. And the giant rat slinks, just like kind of dodges away and begins to kind of circle around and it's staring at them. It's not retreating. It's not running away. Its nest is right behind it. Maybe they're babies. Maybe there's baby giant rats in there. Oh, dear. Now we get to roll initiative for the next round. First, our heroes. 2. Rat. 1. Heroes go first. All right, Rafi. Knocking another arrow to a string. All right, stand clear.
Stand clear. I got this one. Whoosh.
Arrow flying. A 14. 5 damage. That rat. Arrow sinks straight into the rat's flesh, right at the throat, neck area, and just falls to the ground in mid-stride as the arrow pierces its heart and just shuts the body down. The giant rat is slain. Addy, who is in the process of drawing her sword, good shot! And she advances forward to the nest. Are there more giant rats in the nest? I think it's likely. That becomes a 5. 4 becomes a 5. Which means, yes. So another giant rat leaps out towards our heroes, and it's Addy's turn still. So the giant rat's leaping out towards her, and she brings up her sword to thrust at the creature as it is attacking her. Let's roll to see if she hits. A 14, that's enough to hit. She's got a sword, so that's 1d6 damage. 1 point of damage. How much health does this rat have? 3 health. All right. So she slashes that rat, kind of ducking aside instinctively. As she thrusts her sword, the rat sails past her, her sword tip opening up a slash along its side, but then it lands upon the ground, and it turns to make its own attack, because it's its turn now. Yeah! And it is going to choose to attack Addy, because she's right in front, and it's an animal. It comes right for her. Kind of trying to bite her at her ankles. That's an 11. Addy's armor class is 13. That is not... Actually, it's 11. Becomes a 12 because a giant rat gets a +1 to attack. But it still isn't enough to hit. So it snaps at her ankle. But she's got, ankle guards. She's got... what do you call them? I forget. There's a fancy word for it. I can't remember it, but it's the ankle guards. And they protect from the knee down. She's wearing those. They're made out of leather, but they're just enough. It worries it a little bit, and then has to pull back. And now we roll for initiative for the next round. So, first, monsters. A 5. Now, our heroes. A 5. Simultaneous. All right. Rafi brings back his third arrow.
Hold tight!
Bow is the bowstring thumbs in the underground area. And a 10. Not enough. The arrow flies and skitters off of the wall, falling into the ground, into the muck of the ground. Ugh, probably not going to get that arrow back. And the rat just... Addy brings up her sword and tries to slash at this rat at the same time. That is a 17. Oh, boy. All right. Rat's got 2 health left. The sword is able to take out the rat. We know this. But the rat is charging at Addy at the same time. So at the same time that it gets skewered by the sword, it is reaching up to try to bite her. Can it succeed? It does. With a 15. How much damage does this giant rat deal? Rolled a 1, and its damage is 1d6 minus 1, so technically that's a 0. As its teeth close on her chest, on her chest armor, on her leather breastplate. But then it stops, and it slows, and it falls to the ground dead. Skewered upon her blade, Addy looks down upon the vanquished foe and draws forth her sword. Ha! Is there another rat? I'm going to say this is 50-50 at this point. They've already faced 2 rats in this rat nest. I'm going to say it's actually unlikely that there's going to be a third. But let's find out. No, there is no other rat. In fact, see if it, because I rolled a 1. Let's see if there's a special effect on a 1. Oh, no and. There is no other rat. And I'm going to say that they actually managed to find something. They find some treasure. Because that's what you do. When you kill the monsters, you get the treasure, right? So Addy cuts off the two rat tails and offers one to her companion. Rafe, takes the rat tail and looks at it, nods his head. Right. That makes 4 for me. And he puts it in his pouch. Addy still isn't clued in to the fact that he's lying. But she takes that and she adds it to hers. Now she has 3 rat tails to her collection. And she turns to explore the giant rat nest. Searching through the giant rat nest is going to take a bit of it's going to be a little bit of wisdom here, because you gotta be able to find the treasure in the trash. So we're going to check Addy's wisdom. Yeah. A 16. That doesn't look so good. Her wisdom is 9. Oh dear. Addy is looking through, like, oh, just what? I mean, what is this? What is this? I don't know. And she tosses it behind her. Rafe is going to test his wisdom to see if he can figure out what she missed. That is a 7. But is a 7 actually lower than Rafe's wisdom? Yes! By 1. So she tosses that thing behind her. He reaches up and catches it. Oh! No, wait, no, this is good. This is very good. This is very good. What is it that they caught? A key. They caught a key. He said, this is don't you recognize this? This is a dwarven key. How am I supposed? How's a dwarven key different than a human key? Well, I guess that makes sense why you wouldn't recognize it then, because it is different. That dwarven keys are very different. Oh, fine then, Rafie, fine. Keep your dwarven secrets. And she goes back to searching through. I'm going to say there were 2 giant rats inside that. So they find 7 gold coins worth of monies. That has been scavenged by the giant rats because it's shiny, and placed in the nest. Gather up this combination of coins and put them into their bin. So 2 rat tails the richer, several coins richer. Our group will resume their adventure in the next episode as they try to move deeper into the sewers and collect the last rat tails that they need to find. Thank you for hanging out today, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace be with you.